Hello, everyone. I am Sean, and welcome once again to my Horror Corner. As always, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate you tuning in. For those of you that have become subscribers, thank you. There's people out there liking the videos, commenting, sharing the videos. Yeah, you guys are the best. So thank you so much for your support. It really does mean a lot to me. So thank you. And today, super excited to welcome back Isaiah. Isaiah's been on multiple times. He's back again today, and we're going to continue talking about this Black Christmas franchise. So Isaiah, thank you for coming on, sir.
Yes, thank you for having me back. It's so good to see you again,
Yeah,
as
good to
always.
see you. Yeah, absolutely. We talked about the first Black Christmas a while back. I think we both gave it a 10, if I remember correctly. Both huge fans of that movie. And yeah, today we will get into the remake that came out in 2006. But before we do, again, anybody that knows my channel, I'm sure is already familiar with you, but take a minute to plug your channel and talk about anything you might have coming up.
Yes, yes. So I'm Isaiah Swanson. I'm the spokeshuman for the Bitter Wolf, who is a werewolf who lives alone in his cave away from humans with his cat Connie. And he runs a website called realbitterwolf.com. And he has a YouTube channel called The Bitter Wolf Horror and Hijinks. And he's on different social media too. But the website is going to be where you find his writings. Not as much recently. I'm focused more on publishing original horror fiction and also people's commentary about horror movies. But that will come back into the fold this year. We're also hoping to do some web comics about the wolf and his cat's life on the website. And you can also find the Horror Mosaic on the website and on my YouTube channel. And this is a project about the horror community. So these are video profiles of highlighting individuals who are filmmakers, actors, directors, writers, content creators, fans, everyone who builds the horror community. And you get a little video profile of them. And then on my YouTube channel, I also will interview filmmakers about their movies as they're trying to promote them, or just talk about their work in general. So that's kind of the scope of what I do. I also write a monthly, or I think it's every other month now, column for horrorfam.com called Izzy's Eerie Indies. And this is in my human voice, where I talk about different indie horror filmmakers. So that's it.
Wow, a lot going on. Yeah, you
Yeah.
stayed very busy. Definitely stay very busy. And yeah, definitely check out Horror Mosaic. I've watched a lot of those episodes. Great interviews with people. The wolf stuff is always great as well. The wolf cracks me up every time I see him on something. So yeah, definitely. If you don't already, then definitely go check out Isaiah's stuff. It's all really good. Um, we are going to, like I said, get into Black Christmas, the remake. Now, let me ask you this real quick. Do you remember? Not necessarily. Yeah, I guess the first time you saw the film, being such a lover of the original, the first time you saw
Yeah.
this remake, did you like it right off the bat? Were you very disappointed with what they did? What were your thoughts on this the first time you saw it?
That's really interesting because I actually saw this movie for the first time just a couple years ago. So it had
Okay,
already been out for like 15 years by that point,
gotcha.
you know?
Got it.
And so because of that, I've heard every single person's reaction to it. If I talk to them and they're a horror fan, and so it
Yeah.
just seemed to be like totally split down the middle. People were like, "Fuck this! It's the worst movie ever." Maybe I heard that more before 2019 came out, and I hear it
Right.
less now after that.
Yeah,
Um, but
it's true.
um, but yeah, so I think whenever I saw it, I was prepared to not like it because I do hold the original in such high regard, and I put it in my
Sure.
top 5 horror movies. Um, but I went in with an open mind, and honestly, it gave me everything I hoped that I guess it's a sequel, um, or a requel or something.
Requel, maybe. Yeah, something
Yeah,
like that. Yeah.
yeah. It went in the right direction. We'll talk about that later, but
Okay.
um, for me, it totally worked, and I really, really liked it a lot the very first time I saw it. Yeah, I'm in that camp still, I think.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, I think we talked about this a little bit whenever we covered the original. I actually saw this movie before I ever saw the
Oh
original.
wow,
Somehow the original just got past me and I never saw it. And so I saw this one in 2006 when it came out, and I'll be honest, absolutely loved it.
yeah,
I thought this movie was great. And then I went back and watched the original afterwards, and it was, I don't know, took me some time because initially I was like, okay, yeah, the original was fine, but I like this remake better, which
Yep.
definitely had me in the minority because that was not the way the biggest majority of the group felt. But
Sure.
over time, as I went back and I watched the original a second time and then a third time, and then I watched this one again, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that original, it's a better movie. And so I do like the original better now, but I do still enjoy this one as well. And I think part of it for me is uh, Sam from Our Life in Horror. She knows this. She's given me a hard time about this before. I'm a huge fan of Crystal Lowe, who is in this movie.
Oh, yes, me too.
Yeah, I absolutely
I wrote
love
her
Crystal
down. We'll
Lowe.
talk about her. Yes.
Yeah, we'll get into her here in a little bit. If she's in something, I'm automatically going to be interested in it. So yeah, I
Oh
love
yeah.
her. But yeah, we'll talk about her. We'll get there here
What
in a
a
few minutes.
cast.
So I know. Yeah, the cast is good. We'll get there. So let's just jump right in and get started about this tagline for the film. Let the sleigh ride begin. A brief synopsis: as the residents of sorority house Pi Kappa Sigma prepare for the festive season, a stranger begins a series of obscene phone calls with dubious intentions. The movie was released December 25th of 2006, directed by Glenn Morgan, screenplay by Glenn Morgan, based on the original Black Christmas from 1974, produced by Marty Aldestein, Don Peros, Victor Solnicki, Steve Hoban, James Wong, and Glenn Morgan. Cinematography by Robert McLachlan, edited by Chris Willingham, music by Shirley Walker, distributed by Dimension Films and MGM, a runtime of 90 minutes, budget of 9 million, and a box office of 21.5. So a little over
Yeah.
twice its money back. Before we go any further, let's stop there for just a minute and let's give me your opinion on the story, on how they took the story compared to the original, and then the cinematography and score for the film.
Sure. I mean, to be honest with you, the story is absurd. Um, and that's why it works for me because
Yeah,
the original is so like, I mean, the original is kind of absurd when you think of the actual storyline, but it's quite dark compared to this
sure.
in terms of tone and everything like that, especially. But the story itself is just so ridiculous. And but what I love about it is my sensibilities are I love trashy things. I love, you know, I love what's the word exploitation films,
Okay.
things like that. So this felt like that to me, and I love that they just went to the bottom of the barrel with it in a lot of in a lot of ways. So it's like
Yeah,
the other one was so tasteful, and I mean, quote
sure.
unquote tasteful in its presentation and like in the things that were going on in a way, but this one is just like so not, which
Right.
is like I love that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, and I agree with you. And I almost think that's what they would have to do in this kind of a situation because
Yes.
you're not going to make something. And I believe I even read where Glenn Morgan, the director and the guy that wrote the screenplay, he felt like the first one was such a masterpiece. He didn't want to try to compete with it. He just knew that you couldn't
Beautiful.
do that. So he just kind of wanted to do something different, but still pay a little bit of tribute. And I think that's what you
Yeah.
would have to do with something like this. Um, I feel like it's so funny to me because that first one, the original, is very disturbing and it's so dark. This
Yeah.
one is also very disturbing, certain parts of it, but it's also just so balls to the wall crazy that you just can't help but
Yes.
laugh,
It's
that kind of
silly.
thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, so but again, I think that's kind of the direction they would have to go. And when we get into a couple of the production notes, there's a few things I want to ask you because I'm curious how much of that was Glenn Morgan, and then how much of that was the Weinsteins and producers that wanted even more than what he was doing. So we'll get into some of
Oh,
that here in a few minutes. But we briefly mentioned the cast a while ago, so I'm going to go ahead and name a few names from that cast. Katie Cassidy, Michelle, and I say her name wrong every time, and I feel so bad, especially since she's passed away.
you
How do
got
you
it.
say her last name? I'm gonna
No,
let you
you
say
got
it.
it. No, 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 you got it.
Is it Michelle Trachtenberg?
You got it. Beautiful.
Okay,
Nicely
I,
done.
I feel like that's it, and then every time I say it, I'm like, I did not say that right. I know I didn't.
I mean, that
Anyway,
has to be right. I don't know for sure, but that sounds right
okay,
to me.
perfect. It sounded good. I sounded intelligent. That's all that matters. Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Oliver Hudson, Lacey Chabret, Kristen Cloak, Andrea Martin, and of course, the amazing Crystal Lowe. In this film, we have to acknowledge her. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the cast and the characters for this film?
One of the things that I like is that when they're all sitting there in the living room at the beginning, is you can't immediately identify who's going to be the final girl here if there's going to be one in
Right.
this group, because like you kind of know in Black Christmas, whatever
Sure.
the original, I mean, who it's going to be. And in this case, you kind of like there's a lot of different options because you associate so many of them with Scream Queen things. Even at
Right.
the time this movie was filmed, they all like Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Um, uh, I can't think of names now. Let me look at my.
Katie
Let me,
Cassidy had been in some
Crystal
stuff.
Lowe, Katie
Yeah.
Cassidy, and Lacey. How do you say her name?
I think it's Chabrit, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I'm not good with
Okay,
names. People,
I'll have to
please
look
forgive
that
me.
up. I'll have to look that up too. I should have looked it up. I mean, these are all people, and of course, Andrea Martin is from the original.
The original,
Um,
right?
so I think that that's really smart casting because it could be any of those people.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know, who's the final person, and yeah, I thought the cast was great. The Billy casting I thought was absolutely perfect, to
Yeah,
be quite honest. And Agnes casting, I that's probably like the biggest element of campiness in this.
yeah.
I guess I don't know. I don't really know how to describe that, but it's it's good. What did you
Yep.
think?
Yeah, no, I absolutely love the cast, and I agree with you. I thought Billy was cast well, but this cast of girls, I think they did an amazing job. This is such a fun cast, and
Yeah,
one of the things I've talked about this with somebody else before is when you watch that original again from 1974. I'm sure we're going to reference it a lot in this, but um, even though you like them, the film is just so dark, with the exception of laughing at like Barb in the original and laughing at Mrs. Mack. You almost have a hard time. Like I know they're having a party and they're trying to do some things, but it doesn't almost seem like a group you would want to hang out with at the same time. You know what I mean? It just seems
yeah,
it's so dark. But this
yeah,
group, even though we have them kind of giving some attitude and talking shit and being the way they are. They also seem like so much fun. Like I can see fitting in with these personalities, So it seemed like a
yes.
great group to hang out with and just talk shit with.
That's a
So
good point.
yeah, I love the cast. I like these characters. And I agree with you. You don't know in the beginning when you first get these introductions because you see all these faces who might the final girl be. And I really think the only thing that, as far as the characters, in my opinion, that they even tried to make similar, um, I think we talked about Crystal Lowe and her character of Lauren. I think she's supposed to be similar to Barb.
Yeah,
That's kind of the vibe there. The rest of them just seem like their own character to me, really, for the most part. But they all do a
yeah.
great job. It's a fun cast.
Yeah, I really like that they didn't try to copy the characters and they definitely it felt like a 2006 movie, which just like as a millennial that speaks to me as a
Yeah,
millennial horror fan. Um, so, that was like I think I was 16 when that movie came out. So I didn't see it till years later, but it still has that vibe that I
sure.
associate strongly with the era. Um, which is yeah, those kids sitting around, they're talking shit but
Yeah,
they also seem to actually like each other,
right.
uh, and you could see that they could be friends.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
yeah, you're right. I'd never thought about it before. How the original group is far more abrasive. It's like
Yes.
like they're just angry adults sitting there drinking their straight
Yeah.
whiskey or whatever, and just like, but yeah, the house mom is much more tame in this too.
Very much so. Yeah, I can't imagine going to a party with that group from the original film. Love the movie, but can't imagine going to their party. I would go to these girls' party from this remake. That looked like
Yeah,
fun. So yeah,
me too.
but yeah, let's talk about some production notes real quick, and then we'll get to the plot. So, Bob Clark from the original did sign on as an executive producer, and Clark stated that his quote was that he felt like this remake was still Black Christmas, but exploring new subplots that the original film did not touch. Again, I mentioned that the director Glenn Morgan created an extensive subplot for the killer Billy and introduced a second killer, Agnes. In writing, Billy, Morgan was inspired by the real life serial killer Ed Kemper, who as a child had been locked in the basement by his mother and then later murdered his mother along with a lot of other people. But Morgan stated that the addition of Agnes came from the urging of Dimension Film executives. So his original story did not have the character of Agnes in it, but Dimension Films
Wow.
wanted a second killer. Um, Morgan felt like the film didn't need it, but said Dimension Films had to have two killers, and so he had to compromise his story a lot. That's
Interesting.
interesting to me. So I really
Yeah.
wonder where some of that happened. Even the ending of the film, the original script had both Kelly and Leah surviving and being in the hospital and receiving a phone call from Billy while they were at the hospital, more to pay tribute to the original film and that final call where the phone's ringing at the end after everyone leaves. So Kelly and Lee were going to survive, and they were just going to get a phone call from Billy, and then the film was going to end. But the executives, primarily the Weinsteins, scrapped the ending and demanded more violence. So, including the kill where Billy falls and lands on the Christmas tree there. So, um, yeah, it sounds like producers had a lot to do with this story, and it just makes me wonder. Like, I almost wish we would have got some kind of director's cut that didn't involve Agnes. To be honest with you, because I'm very curious what that would have looked like. Would it have been more like the original? Would it have not got quite so crazy like this one does? Because this is something, and I don't mean to get too far ahead of myself, but hell, it happened. So we're just going
Yeah.
to go with it. The first time I saw this movie, I thought that was pretty cool that we introduced Agnes and continued, and had two killers in this.
Yeah.
The more I've watched this remake, even just watching it a couple of days ago to get ready for you and I to talk about this today, that's my least favorite part of this movie is the inclusion of Agnes.
Yeah.
I think it could have been better had we just stuck with Billy, had we not had the
Mm.
two killers and let Billy do his thing. They still could have, had this crazy backstory. They still could have gotten outlandish and do some of the things they did. But I think the addition of the second killer for this film, and especially the way they did it, it just takes away from it for me. Now, I don't know about you, because in the
Yeah.
beginning I didn't feel that way, but I feel that way now. Um, so yeah, I mean, you said yeah, but tell me, what's your thoughts on Billy and Agnes? Just Billy. What would you have liked to have seen?
Sure. I could see that for sure. I think I like Agnes less now that I know that it came from Weinstein.
Yeah,
So I didn't know that I didn't see their names in the credits, so that uh, ugh. So
yeah,
that pisses me off. Weinstein, rotten to hell, you bastard. But anyway, so Agnes, but I still like Agnes. Let's pretend. Let's just ignore
the
that.
Weinstein part. Got it.
I know is I need the bitter. I need the wolf to come out. But yes, Agnes, I still like. I think because Agnes is very campy and it elevates that element of the movie.
Okay,
Um, I also try not to do the whole imagine too much what the movie could have been as well.
sure.
So I try to take it on its own merits. I do that all the time. Don't get me wrong. I do it all the
No,
time,
I
but I'm
totally
trying to
understand.
not do
Yeah,
that. So this is part of my
right.
journey with you here. We're doing it
Got
together.
it. Okay.
Um, but yes, I like Agnes as a camp thing. I could see the alternate version that you're saying too, which I would have
Right.
loved to see Billy do more for sure.
Sure.
What we did get at Billy was great, and I actually
Yeah.
really liked some of Agnes's moments as well, especially in the attic. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I don't know, and I get what you're saying. Because Agnes has some of the best kills, and the
Right,
kills are pretty good in this. So that is something to think about as well. But yeah, I was just kind of curious
right,
there,
right, right.
what your thoughts. So let's go ahead and jump into the plot. So tell me your thoughts on this opening scene with this movie, and we kind of get our opening kill because we start off with the one girl there in the sorority. There's someone in her closet and under her bed. I believe her name is Claire. Um, your thoughts on this opening scene and this opening kill? Anything special?
Well, we are harkening back to the original with the plastic bag thing.
Right.
Um, but I don't think that the original has the pen to the eyeball moment that
Right.
we get. And so I think that's kind of a way to show it visually, like we're gonna pay homage to the original and we're gonna do our own thing with it.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
and I love that as an to me that's like a whenever I see that as an opening shot, I'm like, that's great because it says they're in conversation with the original, but they're going to do their own thing. And it's constructed so well. I love how that scene is shot. You know, the Glenn Morgan. I don't know who shot this movie, but the vision is so it's so stylized. I just love the cinematography. But
Yeah.
yeah, I like that opening scene, and it shows you also that the killer is very obsessed with eyes, which I love
Yes.
because that's like
Yeah.
one of the standout moments from the original when you see Billy's
Right. The eye.
creepy eyeball. Yeah,
Yeah, I completely agree, and I thought about that again just the other night when I watched this. Like I said, I like that opening. You know, we kind of get her looking in the closet a little bit, so it reminds you of that original. You get the plastic bag thing, but like you
yeah.
said, it also shows that it's going to do its own thing because the killer's actually under the bed. He's not in the closet, you know, that kind of
Yes,
thing.
that's
So
right. That's
it
right.
does step out and do its own thing as well. So pays a little bit of tribute, but does go its own route, and I like that as well. I think the eye obsession is good. You know, we get that hint, and it shows us right off the bat what it's going to go for. So I really like this opening as well.
Yeah.
And then from there, we kind of get into some cuts back and forth. And I don't think I ever realized this. Well, I didn't realize this the first time I watched the movie. You know, at that point, we really don't know there's two killers, but we get this next group here where we're cutting back a lot between the asylum that Billy's in and then the sorority house where we're kind of getting introduced to these characters and watching them interact, but we also see some kills. So you know we're at the asylum. The uh the guard and the guy that's bringing the dinner around, they're talking about Billy. We've got the fake Santa Claus there. They're kind of telling Billy's story, but we go back and then we have another girl there at the sorority house, Megan, who hears something and goes up into the attic and gets attacked and killed. So while this is going on and we're getting this back and forth, you know, Billy kills the guard, he kills the fake Santa. While all of this is happening and we're cutting back and forth, did it dawn on you the first time you were watching the film that we have two killers, or did you think we were doing flashbacks?
Um, it did not. For the first time, no, it didn't. This
Okay,
time, of course, it did. But
sure.
the first time, uh, actually, I think knowing it hurts the revisit of it.
Yeah,
Um, it's better the first time because whenever you go back and revisit it, I mean, it's not just about that mystery, but it's also like, why are we doing it this way?
right.
At that point. But the very first time it works out very well. I didn't have any clue because there's no reason to suspect it.
Sure.
However, I do remember realizing pretty quickly who it was once we got to that moment where it's like 9 months later.
Yeah.
Uh, so, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you. And I think maybe that's part of, you know, because I talked about it, it took me a little while and then I got to where I liked the original better and finally, you know, woke up to how great it was. But I think the first time I saw this movie, because I didn't know that and had no idea that there were two killers, and just I really just assumed, okay, we just keep going back, showing how Billy got out of the asylum and got back to this place. I mean, that's what I
yeah,
thought was happening, and so
yeah,
I was absolutely loving it. But I agree 100% with what you said that once you know that, it does take away from it a little bit on the rewatch. It brings it
yeah,
down just a little bit, and maybe that's why. Um, Maybe that's why the Agnes storyline bothers me just a little. And again, it does. I still enjoy the film, but maybe
yeah,
that's part of why it bothers me a little bit because it's great in the beginning. It's great the first time you see it, and then later you're like, oh shit, you know that kind of thing. So yeah,
yeah.
but
I mean, you can revel in the silliness of it
yeah,
on the second watch, and you notice. I think I noticed a lot more things on the second watch because I wasn't wrapped up in the mystery as
right,
much.
yeah, I
So there
completely
is
agree.
there are things. I mean, there are things to notice on a second watch that are really good, but it's not the
Sure,
central plot that's as engrossing anymore, like the original would be on a
right.
revisit.
Yeah, I completely agree with what you're saying there. Once we kind of get through all that, once you know Billy finally does get away, he kills that Santa. Then we finally get into we do start to get flashbacks of Billy's childhood, Billy's mom. Billy had jaundice, I believe, is what it was that they said that he had. We,
Yes.
you know, his mom absolutely hates him. Obviously, this is a horrible woman, absolutely horrible woman.
Yes.
Damn, I mean, yeah, just a terrible woman. Um, we get it, but we get to see some scenes there in the interaction, and we find out very quickly that Billy's dad was killed by his mom's lover, and they bury the body under the house, and Billy sees all of this. Um, what do you think about this addition to the story, these flashbacks, and building Billy's background so that we know why he is the way that he is?
Yeah, I mean, is it necessary? Absolutely not. For this movie, I think it works really well. It adds nothing to the original at all, but I think it works enormously well for this as a trash masterpiece, if you will, if you take it that way. It's
Yeah,
just these are things that we would see in the '70s exploitation movies, like The Baby.
right.
Like that's the first thing that came to mind whenever I saw this.
Yeah,
So I just thought it was great. And there's some extremely silly moments and some very gory, silly moments too,
sure.
associated with all of this. But the mom is a caricature of someone who's an evil person. And so
Right.
she's really fun to watch on screen, even though she's just despicable.
Yeah,
It's effective, and you could see how Billy became whatever he became, the thing that he
yeah,
became crawling through the
yeah.
walls. I don't
Right.
know how much I love the jaundice thing. Um, the eyeballs, I think you could give him creepy eyeballs without making him look all yellow like that. And
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know, but um, yeah. What
Yeah,
about you?
no, I agree with you. I think that the jaundice thing probably is going a little far because I don't think it was necessary. And it's just one of those things where I think when you watch this movie, you really have to be able to separate, and it's hard to do because we keep comparing it, even talking about it tonight. But you have to separate it from the original because I almost feel bad for Glenn Morgan here because I almost don't think that while I feel like this movie has started to develop a following in later years, there are people that are starting to appreciate it now. I feel like it caught so much heat in the beginning, but I don't think it mattered what Glenn Morgan did. People weren't going to like this film because
Right.
that original is such a classic. It's such a masterpiece. I mean, it's a damn near perfect movie. It's so good that, like we said when we first started talking about it, you can't remake that. You can't do that again. So he needed to go a different direction to try to do something with this. So anyone that
Yeah.
goes into this movie and wants to see something like the original, you're setting yourself up to be
Right.
disappointed. That's just not necessary. He didn't need to even try that. But then
Right.
at the same time, to do what he did, which was really the only thing he could do, to just kind of go batshit crazy with it, then
Yep.
people are like, the movie's stupid. Well, what the hell did you expect? Like, what did you
Yes.
want from this movie?
Right.
You
Right.
don't want him to try to copy the original, but you don't want him to do his own thing and just go crazy with it. I mean,
Yes.
then don't go watch the movie. Basically, I mean, that's kind of the
Yes,
way it is.
yes.
So,
We see this
you,
argument a lot in horror franchises, right? It's like
yeah,
it's and I understand, like I do, if you have a really close connection to something, you don't want someone to fuck with it.
right,
If it means something to you on a deep level. But you also got to understand that this is art we're talking about. Like Shakespeare,
right.
his plays have been interpreted thousands of times, things like that. And especially if Bob Clark's like, yeah, seal of approval. Let's continue this discussion.
Yeah,
It's like it's art. It's like an artistic interpretation of this, and it doesn't make it. It's like you don't have to watch this instead of the original either.
right. Yeah,
Um,
you can still go back and watch that original. It's okay. We didn't get rid of it just because this movie came out. It's
exactly.
it really will be fine. I promise.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's and I say that, and that again doesn't mean that I have things about this movie. I've already mentioned a couple that I don't like, but it's not
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I want it to be just like the original. It's just things that don't
Hmm.
work for me, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but and that's kind of where I'm at with these flashbacks. I don't mind the flashbacks. I think it's like you said, do we need them? No, I don't. I'm not one of those people that feels like we need to know why. We don't need to know why Billy's the way he is. We don't need to know why
No.
Michael
No.
is the way he is, Leatherface. We don't need to know any of that. We really don't. And
No.
sometimes when you try to explain all of it, you end up taking away from the mystery and the suspense and what's great about some of these killers when you try to explain
Yeah.
it. So it's not necessary. However, all of that being
Yes.
said, for what they were doing with this movie, it's perfectly fine. I mean, it
Yeah.
serves its purpose, and with the exception of the jaundice, it's yeah, the jaundice part bothers me because I'm just like, what did that add? Like that did nothing.
That's
But
what I mean.
but the
Ugh.
rest of it, is it's good. I like the way it's set up. It does have a few plot holes here and there, but overall, it's still enjoyable. So I'm fine with it. And in
Yeah.
the middle of these flashbacks, now we start getting some of these phone calls where Billy's now calling the
Mm.
house, and these girls are starting to get freaked out a little bit. Um, these phone calls are fine. These calls are nowhere near as creepy as what we got in the original. They just
No.
don't have the same effect. But again,
Yeah.
they probably couldn't. I mean, there's just no way. So again, it just kind of. I feel like something that I could say a lot where this movie is concerned is it serves its purpose. Like it does what it needs to.
Yep.
Which is fine. I mean, that's really all it needed to do. So, the one thing though that I will say threw me off the first time I watched it again because it's a big different thing when you rewatch this movie. The girl Eve that it introduces at one point. So she's one of the girls that comes down. She's got glasses. Her hair's all pulled back. Looks like she's about to leave, and then they cut away.
Oh,
And then when the house mother turns back, she's gone. I feel like they tried to for just a little while give you an impression that she might be Agnes. Did you pick up on that
yeah.
at all?
Yes, I think Eve and then the dude, I can't remember his name at all, but
Kyle.
Kyle. I think they were both kind of red herrings,
Okay.
because they both see that she was just weird, I guess, and they tried to make you
Yeah.
think she was Eve. And then I mean Agnes, and
Yeah.
then Kyle make you think he could be the killer in some
Sure.
way. So I think they were just red herrings, but I think that's another weakness in this movie is that didn't wasn't like strong enough. It didn't ever
Yeah.
convince me.
Yeah. I agree with you. That's what I was about to say. Hers wasn't bad. The problem I had with the Kyle aspect is that exactly like you said, it's not strong enough because if Kyle is your killer, then everything that just happened at this asylum was absolutely pointless. uh, we didn't, none of that mattered because Kyle's the killer. It's not Billy getting out of the asylum and coming back. So that part does bother me. I don't think that was ever believable. I think that's what they were trying to do, is make you think it could be Kyle, but I just didn't think that was believable at all. The Eve thing, maybe for a few minutes, but they really don't build on it other than just that one scene, and then it's kind of done. So yeah, I mean, it's fine. It gives us a few more, a couple more bodies to add to the body count as we get through
Right.
some of these kills and things. But yeah, I don't think it really did much for me. Um, but now we're going to get into the most disturbing part, in my opinion, about this film, um, because, like I said, it's disturbing in a completely different way than the first movie. The
Yeah.
the mom, is she's having sex with her boyfriend, and I guess he passes out because he's drunk. And so now this son that she has basically ignored and locked in an attic, she decides to go up and have sex with her young teenage son just so she can get pregnant. It's so gross. It's so
Right.
very, very gross.
Right.
Um, that's taking a big swing. I mean, I don't really even know what to say there.
Uh,
I just
well,
like
okay.
it's
So
taking a
this
big
is
swing.
yes, absolutely, and I think this is where the exploitation element comes in, and I think it's actually what makes the movie work because, as we've noted, the tone is so drastic from the original, which is very minimalistic in what it tells you about Billy,
Right,
and that's part of what makes the terror work in that because it couldn't try to mimic that in this case. It had to do the complete opposite, which is just lean into the exploitation factor.
sure,
If you're not going to show anything in this, you have to show everything in that. And
right.
that's why I think that it worked. But the way that they film that scene is so good. Like
Yeah,
it's like you're up there because he has so many of these high, like super high angle shots and super low angle
right.
shots of people, and I just love it because you feel like you're up there in the attic looking down with Billy, just like in
Yeah,
the original. You get that.
sure.
But anyway, so you see her down there, and it's like, oh, she's so fucking gross. Why is she fucking someone right there? Everyone could see her,
Exactly, yeah.
and then, oh, I'm gonna make it worse. I'm gonna climb up to you. I'm gonna climb up right to you, and make it so much worse. But they don't
Yeah,
show you. They don't show it to you. They just show you a couple
right.
things. They show her
Yeah, they just
standing there, dropping the panties, which is plenty.
Right.
And then
Yeah,
but the rocking
that's enough.
chair has never stopped moving the whole scene, and it
Right.
makes it so effective. It's gross, it's
Yeah.
disgusting, it's exploitation, but it also
Yeah.
shows you this is how Ed Kemper, Billy Lenz came to be. You
Right.
know,
Yeah,
so
absolutely. No, I agree with you. And I think it's one of those things that again, I think it has a bigger effect again upon the first time that you watch the film. The first time you watch it, you're like,
yeah,
"Oh my god, seriously? Like that's what's happening?" And then the you watch it a second time or a third time, and you're like, "That's just fucking gross."
right. This
that,
is
that kind of
gross.
thing. But
Yeah,
yeah, but the
it
first
is.
time it has that that shock effect. So you
Yeah,
get that part of it as well. So it again, it does what it needs to do. I mean, basically, that's what it is. So
yeah.
um, from there, excuse me. Billy, the calls continue. Now the calls are coming from Megan's phone. Um, we find out that Kyle has come into the house, and when we through Megan's room, and we get a few more flashbacks. We find out Billy takes Agnes, that he kills his stepdad. He ends up killing his mom. We get that they're kind of setting Kyle up as the red herring. Um, the gross scene where Billy kind of makes cookies out of the skin on his mom's
I
back.
love that so good.
Yeah, I mean it's a great
He's
scene, but it's
he's baking
disgusting.
cookies. He
Yes,
bashes the cookie dough down first, and
yeah,
then he carves out the back fat cookies, and then he bakes it. Come on, that's so
he
good.
does. And when the cops show up, he's having it with milk. I mean, he's having his cookies and milk. Why not? I mean, with everything else we've done, we might as well. Yeah, at this point. So, um,
It's more than she deserved. We'll put it that way.
this is true. Yeah, this is true. We kind of already talked about Kyle not really buying him as the red herring, but
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah,
I think it's a good way to kind of wrap up Billy's story and show now why he's in the asylum and just take that to one more level and then get us to our next act. So yeah, I think that's all
yeah,
fine. I enjoy that. Um, back in the sorority, Claire's sister arrives. Um, kind of again a different storyline here. In the original, we have a father that shows up that's looking for his daughter, and this time we get a sister that shows up and is really more involved in the film than I feel like the father is in the first one, which is fine. Um, Power goes out, and then we start kind of getting through the kills of the girls. Uh, you know,
yeah.
do you have a favorite kill through all these? We have the one girl who goes under the house to turn the power back on, and then she ends up getting killed under there. We mentioned Eve earlier. They find her head. We've got Mrs. Mack, and I think the next girl's name is Heather, who go out to the car. Throughout these kills, any of them that you like more than others? Do you like all of them? Your thoughts on these kills as we start wiping out the girls?
Yeah, I don't like all of them because you don't see all of them, and that's one of my big faux pas. But
Okay.
I'm okay. But I'm actually okay with that in this movie, to be honest with you, because I thought like even whenever the scene where Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character dies and
In the car. Yeah.
Miss Mac she dies, you don't see Mary Elizabeth Winstead die, but it's still an effective kill, and
Sure.
also you get to see Miss Mac die immediately after, and so it's kind of like
Right.
it works together, and it's a funny thing too because she's like you Southern princess or whatever,
Yeah.
and then she explodes. So I think that's great. But I do love Michelle Trachtenberg's as she Melissa is her character maybe. Uh,
yes. Yeah. She is
okay.
Melissa, I believe.
Yeah, because I love it because the year before this movie came out, she starred in that movie Ice Princess for Disney. Um,
Right.
so you get an ice skate to the back of the head, which
Yeah.
is
When
pretty
she's
good.
trying to escape. Yeah.
Yes,
Um,
and I just love that. But oh wait, one quick thing. That's not my
sure.
favorite kill. I'll tell you. Oh, the favorite kill is the mom's death. That's my favorite kill.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
with
Gotcha.
the
Where
not
Billy
in the
kills her.
sorority sisters. It's the
Billy killing his mom.
yes that one.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I did have something to say about the phone calls. I forgot to say this. Um,
Yeah. Go ahead.
I wrote this down to word for word. I wrote phone call creepy, but not as creepy as the original.
Yeah,
So,
and I think that's I mean, that's really it. They are creepy calls, but it
yeah.
just that original those calls were so incredibly
Yes.
creepy and just disturbing that it's just not the same effect, but they're still creepy calls.
Yeah.
I mean, they're definitely not cool. Um,
Yes. But they
eh,
also introduce you to catchphrase, which is something that Billy doesn't have in the original, I don't think. Which
right.
that she's my family now,
She's my family now. Yeah,
or he's my family now. Agnes said that one time.
yeah.
Um, or is that Agnes on the calls? I can't. So it's. I think that's Agnes, right?
I think it is, but I almost think at times we get both because there's almost times where it feels like Billy has. That's the one thing I wanted to ask you. There's spots in this where it's Billy or Agnes, whoever's making these calls.
Yeah.
Are they just repeating what happened? Because it almost seems like sometimes they've recorded some of these things that they've done and are playing these recordings on this call. Did did you feel the same
I
way, or was that just me?
I think that might be one of the plot point or the plot hole elements that we're talking
Okay,
about. Like it just doesn't line
gotcha.
up very well, and all the
Got it.
because they're trying to do these flashback things while Billy's also escaping at the same time, and then all this is
Yeah,
happening in the present. So I think some of these things are colliding against each other in a way that it doesn't really work. But I think it's
doesn't really
probably
work out.
Agnes because it's coming from
Okay,
the cell phones, you know.
okay, that
So
makes
that
sense.
makes the most sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. That's true. We also get, unfortunately, Lauren dies. She's gotten drunk and
Yeah,
gone to bed. Takes her shower, goes to bed, and then she ends up getting killed. Her kill is we don't actually see her kill, but we do see Billy basically like crawl into bed with her and fondle her a little bit, which is disturbing. So
yeah,
we do get some of that there as well. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to decide what my favorite kill is as we talk about these. We don't get to see all of them. Um, I do like the ice skate to the head. I just really
yeah.
do enjoy that one. And Mrs.
Because you think it's
Maxman,
gonna be the unicorn, you
yeah,
know?
exactly. And it's something totally different. So there
Yeah,
is that one. Yeah, I don't know, but of course the mom kill is good too. That's tough. I might go with the
yeah.
ice skate to the head. That might be my favorite one.
Okay.
But there are some good ones there, and it's it just gets chaotic because now he's wiping out all these girls. We've had all this setup this whole time of Agnes doing a few things and Billy trying to get there, but now these girls are going down one by one.
Yep.
Um, as Leah and Kelly end up in the attic, well, they end up in the attic because they've got Kyle with them still, and he is going to crawl up into the attic, and Agnes ends up grabbing Kyle and killing him, but they all end up in the attic, and we start to get a better look at Agnes. We've already seen her, but we get a little bit of a better look. Talk to me about how this movie changes here a little bit because this is something that we know Billy was in the attic in the original, but all the stuff going on with the walls, and we saw it some when he was a kid in these flashbacks, like he crawled around through the walls. But
Yeah.
Lee falls through the floor. Kelly manages to somewhat escape by falling halfway down this wall, but Agnes falls too, and so she's got Agnes trying to get to her from the bottom, and then Billy trying to crawl down to her. This
Yeah.
movie turns into something weird. Like there's just all kinds of things going on, like it's the cube or something happening in this house where there's all these places where they can crawl in the walls and the
Oh
ceilings, and
man.
it just gets a little bit insane to me. Um,
Yeah, this is where it gets insane.
yeah, it gets. I mean, we've had some crazy shit happening, but at this point, I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, where are we really going right
Right.
now?
It's
So
just off
I
the
do.
rails.
Yeah, it's just gotten batshit crazy now. I think again, it's one of those things that the first time I saw it, I really enjoyed it. The rewatches, I'm like, okay, it's just crazy. It doesn't make me not like the movie, but it's all over the place. But again, it's one of those
Sure.
things that does make me wonder how much of this was the original. And like you said, I know we can't really go back and we're never going to know. So to go back and think about it is not much. But I just wonder like how much of this is what he really wanted or how much of this is what the producers forced. But
Mm.
yeah, with all of this chaos going on in the attic and the walls and Billy and Agnes chasing Kelly and Leah, um, give me your thoughts as we're getting close to wrapping this movie up, but on all of this that's going on.
Well, you do make a good point. We should. This is one of those cases maybe where it's okay to imagine it because Weinstein was involved. So we should be able to reverse his stupid
Gotcha.
decisions.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yes, I thought it's fun. It's silly. The thing I have the biggest issue with is the hospital
Okay.
afterwards because I'm just like, oh, enough, just get it fucking over with. Um,
Yeah.
but the I am okay with the crawling in the walls because that's like what they do. You know, that's how they survive for these years, and now
Sure.
she gets to experience it and try to survive that way. So I think I'm okay with it, but they should have died
Okay.
at the house, and all that good stuff. So.
My dog's chiming in there. Sorry about that,
Oh, hey,
everybody.
do you like the movie, my friend?
She is so used to yeah, I used to live in a house. I just moved into an apartment about a month ago now. But in
Oh
the
yes,
house it was
yeah,
quiet.
yeah.
She never heard any noises. She
Now
was such a
there's
good
people
dog, so
around you.
quiet, everything fine. Now every noise she hears outside, she's got to let people know that she's in here.
Yep, yep,
And there's not much I can do about it. I just have to
yeah,
listen to it. So
yep,
yeah, but no, and I'm with you because then we do get to the hospital as they manage to escape because the attic has been set on fire during all of this commotion and chaos, and so they get to the hospital, and I am 100% with you there
yeah,
because and I think I had felt that way before. I had kind of forgot, I guess, about that for some reason because it had been a while since I watched this. When I was watching this a couple of nights ago and we got to the hospital, I'm like, oh yeah, we still have to do this before this wraps up.
yeah. Like,
Because
God
it's
damn it.
just, yeah, like we didn't need to get outside of the house. That's one
Yeah,
place where I wish maybe we would have stayed a little more true to the original. Is let's just wrap it up there. And I like the idea of that original ending where we were going to have Kelly and Lee in the hospital, and they get a phone call there from Billy. I like that
yes,
idea. That's kind of a
yeah,
cool ending. But to have Billy and Agnes both somehow then get to the hospital and continue on, I'm just like, really, let's just finish it up, and of course,
yeah,
then Lee gets killed. Um, but Kelly is able to kill Agnes with the I don't even know what those things are like defibrillator. Is that what that's called? Where
yeah.
they shock the
Defibrillator,
people?
yes.
Yeah, she's able to kill Agnes with that, and then she has a little battle with Billy, and um, he falls over the edge and down onto the Christmas tree. You already mentioned that's kind of where you had your issue as well. Um, but as it wrapped up, and that's what we got, and it ended. Any other thoughts on the finale and the finish for the film?
I actually really like the shot of Billy on the Christmas tree. And the reason I do is because whenever you are looking up at the ceiling, you see his shadow reflected. He's laying there, and it's going in that green orange blinkiness, which is
Right.
exactly the same thing that you see in the house throughout the entire movie. You see this constant green and orange blinking
Yes.
Christmas lights. So you see it
Right.
again
Yeah,
when Billy
that's a good point. I
dies.
hadn't thought about
Yeah,
that. That's true.
at the hospital.
Yeah,
So I really like that juxtaposition, and I also liked it just in terms of cinematography because it was kind of creepy, throughout the whole
sure.
movie. So yeah, I like it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't
I
thought
like
about
that
that.
part of it. I like that part of it. I don't like most of it because I'm like the Agnes double death is so silly. You should just let
Yeah,
Agnes die in the fire. We
right.
don't need another defibrillator scene. We've seen a million of those.
Yes.
Just let Billy stay in the final standoff. That would have been fine.
Yeah, I completely agree. So
Yeah.
we've talked about this. We both know that we gave the original. Both of us gave the original a perfect 10 out of 10. What would you give this remake from 2006 on a scale of 1 to 10?
Ooh, I would say for me, the enjoyment factor is very high on this, and I do watch this every year, so the rewatchability is strong. I do get something out of it every time, so I think that's the mark of a well-made movie. I think it's
Okay.
very well made, it's well acted, and I embrace the silliness. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay. Um, I'm close. I think I feel like I do watch this almost every year as well.
Yeah,
For probably the first year, 2 years, maybe even 3 or 4 years after I saw this movie, I would have almost given it a 10 out of 10 because I just absolutely
yeah,
loved it until I went back and saw the original, and then things started changing a little bit for me, But
yep,
when I watched it the other night to get ready for this is the most things about it have ever bothered me. Now, I still
yeah,
overall enjoy the movie. I
yeah.
still because the performances are good. We get some good kills. It's fun. It's a fun slasher film. I still believe that. I think I would give it a 7 out of 10. I wouldn't quite
Okay,
go to the 8 level, but I still
yeah,
do like it. It's a
that's
good.
solid.
It's a fun slasher. I think now, having seen it as much as I have, I can see me throwing this movie on, watching the first because I think we said it had like yeah, it's right at a 90-minute runtime. I can see me watching like the first hour and 15 minutes of it, and then when they cut to the hospital scene, being like, "All right, I'm going to step out and have a smoke," and just kind of forget the
Sure.
last 15 minutes of the movie, because
Yeah.
that's kind of really where it stops there. So I think 7 out of 10. It's still fun. It's still got some good kills, and again, I've already said Crystal Lowe's in it, so that's worth sitting down and watching for a little
That's
while
worth
right
a lot.
there. Yeah, yeah. That's
I
6 of the
had a
7
huge
points I
crush on
gave it.
her growing up. Yeah.
I did too, and she just,
Yeah.
she's right there in that window because she's in Black Christmas, she's in Final
Uh,
Destination,
yep.
2
Three.
or 3? 3,
I think
okay.
three. I think three.
That's right, it
Wrong
is Final
turn.
Destination 3, Wrong Turn 2,
Yep.
um, yeah, and then I know she's in a few other things as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a huge Crystal Lowe fan.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, she's great. But and I think she's in a couple of other things even that aren't horror, but just not big parts. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's, she's worth 6 of the 7 points I gave it. And then no,
Wow. Okay. You had Sean's Crystal Low corner. That's what you.
yeah, we may have to. I've already been accused of having this obsession with Jennifer Love Hewitt, so I might just have to make another one for Crystal Lowe now as well. I've built some
Okay.
kind of shrine to her or something in the corner of my house. But
Ah.
um,
Ooh. Okay.
yeah,
Yes.
no, I'm really not as creepy as the Weinsteins, I promise. Um,
That's good. Hey, don't throw Bob in. I don't know if Bob is creepy. I
that
don't know if
yeah,
his brother is. You know.
that's true. Yeah, they have some issues, but that's okay. All
I
right,
don't know
yeah. So
anything
that's
about him. Yeah.
maybe we can try to get together next month and go ahead and wrap this franchise up. We'll talk about the 2019 film. Um,
Yeah.
it's different, but yeah, we can get into it. It does have some good things about it, so we can talk about that. So yeah, I'll get you back on and we'll talk about that. And then still, you're going to be coming back with me periodically to get through the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise.
Yeah. I'm so
We'll
excited about that.
be Yeah, we'll be going through that one still, and yeah. Anything else you want to say about this film before we wrap this up?
Oh, let me check my notes. Um, I think we covered everything. Oh, there were a couple of quotes I just want to throw out here that were pretty funny, I
Sure.
thought. Dick Cheney is a better sister to you than your sister.
Yes, I do remember that. That was funny.
Yes. Oh, I do like all the shots of Agnes's eye in the hole, especially in the
Yeah,
bathroom. That's like the best. It's so funny and good.
yeah.
And also the fact that Dana drops her cigarette perfectly into that one hole
Oh, I
outside.
know.
Like, that's
Yeah,
hilarious.
it is hilarious because I'm a smoker and I can't
Yes,
do that.
yes.
Yeah,
No,
every time I try to
never.
drop a cigarette somewhere, it never goes where I want it to go. So yeah,
Because
I was
there.
impressed.
The second you drop it is whenever the wind hits and it is
Yes, takes off with it. Yeah, it's absolutely insane. I've already experienced that since being in this apartment. I have a balcony right over here where I can go out and smoke, and it's got these like
yeah,
wooden slats that I walk out on. And there's a small, it's not a very big area between these slats, but there is a apartment below me that has a patio down there, and I've got
yeah,
something out there that I drop my cigarette butts in. So I'm out there and I'm smoking, and I go to drop my cigarette butts in this container that it shouldn't miss. But as soon as I let it go, the wind blows it a little bit, and it just so happens to go right down between those two slats and land down there on my
perfect.
downstairs neighbor's patio. And I'm like,
Of
how the
course,
fuck? I couldn't do that if I wanted to. Like, how did
of
that just
course.
happen? So, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I try to make sure
exactly.
that doesn't happen, but it did. So, anyway,
That's
yeah.
like that's great. It's the chaos theory from Jurassic Park. It's like, what was it? Anything that can will happen. Or no, wait, I'm
Yeah.
confusing things now. But anyway,
But I get
um,
what you're saying. Yes. Anything that
yes,
can
yeah,
happen will happen. Yeah, that's it.
yes.
That's a good way to put it, really. So that's my life, actually. That's going to
Okay.
be the title of my autobiography, by the way. Anything
Oh,
that can happen
okay.
will happen.
I thought it was going to be the bitter wolf put me in the corner.
Well, that'll be a chapter. We'll have a chapter on that. We'll have a chapter on kidney stones. We'll have all kinds of stuff going on. But
Are you still writing that chapter?
I still am because there's still
Oh,
4.
fuck them.
I still
Fuck
have
them.
4 of the stones that I just haven't passed yet, but they haven't been moving. So there, I
Too many
haven't been in.
sequels.
Yeah, I haven't been in any more pain. They're just sitting there, but I have to go back to the doctor um, next month to get another scan done to make sure that they're not growing. As long as they're not growing, we're fine. So yeah, that's what we're hoping for.
As long as we're
Great.
not growing,
As
we're
yeah, as long
fine.
as those things aren't getting bigger, then you're fine, Sean. If they're getting bigger, then we're gonna have to cut you open. So yeah, it's a. I'm really excited about that appointment. Just to go back and hear that news. So
All
yeah,
right. Well, I hope for the best for your stones. All right.
yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now I'm sure everybody's tired of hearing me ramble about stones and all kinds of other
Sorry.
stuff, cigarettes. We talked about the movie, and then we just went totally off track. But
It's okay.
whatever. We had fun. It was good.
Yes,
So
it's
yeah,
always good.
Isaiah. Thank you so much again for coming on. I'll get you back real soon, and we'll wrap up next month. We'll wrap up Black Christmas, and then when we get into next year, we'll start talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre and get through that franchise. And I was also going to ask you, so I'll just go ahead and put you on the spot while we're on here. I do plan on going through that Twisted Universe franchise at some point and talking about,
Oh,
the Winnie the Pooh movies and Bambi and Peter Pan and all of that kind of stuff. I think you're a big fan of that stuff. Am I right?
oh, yes, absolutely. Yes,
Okay. So
yes is the answer.
I might try to pull you in and have you go through that stuff with me as well if you want. So
Absolutely. Yeah, that sounds
perfect.
fantastic. I love
All
that
right.
shit.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that stuff as well. So, all right. Well, thank you again for coming on, Isaiah. Everybody, thank you for watching. And if you stuck with us for the last 5 to 10 minutes, then I really do appreciate that even more because I don't know
Thank
what the
you.
hell just happened. But yeah, thanks for watching. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Isaiah, take one more moment. What do you have coming up there on your channel here in the next few weeks? Do you know?
Sure. I took a long hiatus from the horror mosaic because I just got burnt out from traveling. I've been traveling for the last month or so. And so things are coming back together. I'm going to be releasing new interviews conducted by the Bitter Wolf himself with different guests. And our first will be with that horror couple coming out very soon. I have a panel coming out before Halloween, which is called the Bitter Unknown panel. And so we'll see what happens on there. And then we have what else? It's hard to think. I have on Monday I have another short story by Lucy Shao that is going to be published on my website, realbitterwolf.com. It's
Very
a
cool.
flash fiction horror piece, and I can't think. The horror mosaic is coming back. I have 5 episodes in the works, and it will come back in November.
All right. So very cool. Yeah, a lot of good stuff. Definitely go check out Isaiah's channel. I'll be back later this week with that horror couple, as he mentioned a while ago. We will be talking about A Quiet Place Day One. They've come on with me and talked about the other two Quiet Place films, so they're going to come back and we're going to talk about that one and wrap that franchise up. I also have episodes coming up on Alice, Sweet Alice, an old 1976
Ooh,
slasher film. The original Blair Witch Project, I'm going to be talking about very soon. And also on the 19th of November, I will be on a live for A&B Horror Movies is having a live that I'll be on, and we'll be talking about things, horror collectibles and stuff like that. So, yeah, a lot of good stuff coming as well. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so you don't miss anything. Follow me on social media. I'm on everything out there: Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, X. Just search Sean's Horror Corner and you will find it. Again, thank you all so much for watching. Isaiah, thank you so much for coming on. And
thank you, Sean.
I will see you soon, everyone.